Hey everybody, we have Curtis with us tonight, and it's been a while since we've been able to get together, and I'm super excited about being able to get with him. He's actually in Thailand for a little bit, and so what I hear is there's a torrential downpour right now. So if we have some technical difficulties, just hang tight. He'll come back with us. That's what I hear. So I'm pretty excited about what we're going to talk about tonight. It's going to kind of go into it's going to be a building block of what we've actually started focusing on as far as getting people helping our team get to Diamond. And so Curtis is going to give us some tips and tricks on that. For those of you that don't know who Curtis has been in the industry for 28 plus years. He's very successful, and he's very sought after by many people when it comes to teaching and training and mentoring and all of that. So if this is your first time with us, I'm super excited to have you here, and I hope everybody knows what a great opportunity this is that we have to be able to have him with us. Curtis is amazing, and you guys are going to be totally blessed to have him with us. So
Wow, I always love coming on this stuff with you, Romy, because I keep looking around going, who is she talking about? He's here somewhere. Hey, Mark, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. Oh, he's muted, so we don't need to worry about that. Well, listen, one of the things you and I talked about, in fact, by the way, congratulations. Last time we talked, you guys hit Blue Diamond, so congratulations on that again. I just wanted to give you a shout out, so that's good. Um, Tell me a little bit about it. You said you've got a new goal for the team, and we said that's why we'll talk about what we're going to talk about now, the benefit for everybody. But I think it's a great goal because, again, it's outwardly focused, not inwardly centered, which is good. And that is that you've enjoyed the process to Diamond, and you want to help a ton of people get there. So share that. Let's cover that real quick. Kind of it'll prep that way people who maybe aren't here live and they come back, they'll kind of get a prefacing as to why we think what we're going to share is so important because of what you guys have set as your objectives for the team. Why don't you let's talk about that a second.
well, we've set a goal to be able to help the people on our team that want to do this, to be able to help 288 people on our team get to Diamond. Hopefully that would be more. The mindset and the goal really is for us to be able to focus on helping the people that are on our team rather than having that focus be on us. And it really exemplifies the servant heart, and just really get that heart investment for the people that are on our team. For me, it's been an amazing motivator. And so that's what my goal is to be able to help everybody else on the team be able to achieve that heart investment for the people on their team, and to be able to advance in that way.
Which is ultimately the best way to achieve any personal results and goals and objectives you may have for yourself and your family. And for everybody watching this, the key is there is no way to achieve significant results personally unless you achieve significant results as a team. There's no way to earn an income of any significance by being a seller. You can move product and make money, but if you want to make life-changing financial impact, you have to move people and move teams. And ultimately that means, as we've talked about, you have to truly develop a servant heart and servant mind. We'll talk a little bit about that too. I had a conversation with a team, we hang out yesterday, and that team leader is such an epitome of servant mindset. I'll share with you some of the comments that she'd had and some of the stories she had shared. And it's not the stories about what happened with others. It was what I was looking at was what it represented in terms of who she is. And it's exactly the same person that you guys are. And that's why this is a wonderfully fun goal. When we talk about it, and I said, so you want to build just a boatload of diamonds, and that's great because it's all outwardly focused. What you have to do is you got to create a game plan. And so when you really start, you have to develop a mindset of success, which is truly servant leadership. Once you've done that, though, there's no doubt that you can go out and put together plans and strategies that can be pretty specific as to what you want to accomplish and by what time frame you want to accomplish it. And so you can break things down to kind of like a business plan. You really can get pretty specific about what it takes, just realizing it's not what it takes for you, it's what it takes for the team as a whole and what you need to do in order to make that work. So, if you take a look, we talked before we fired up the Hangout, if you want to build diamonds, then you look at the path to diamond from premier through silver, gold, platinum, and then diamond. And so ultimately, you go to the very first rank. And the reason you go to the first rank, everything about building great success is about building a larger foundation. It's a larger base. You build a taller building. The taller the building, the stronger, the deeper, the wider, the broader the base has to be of the foundation for that building to be able to be erected successfully and not just, at the first win, fall over. So, which is interesting because right down the street from where I am, I've had an apartment here in Bangkok for many years, 4 years now, and right down the street on Ratchathapsek Road, they're building what is now going to become the tallest building in Asia. It won't be in the world. The Burj Dubai has set a standard that I don't know how many people are going to go shooting for that one, but it'll be a 125 story tower. And they've been working with the construction, big construction walls up around this square area, if you will, on this corner, this intersection of Ramanine Road and Ratchathapsek. And it's just been this construction wall with all this equipment for, over a year. And there's nothing above the wall. The wall's, a little 8-10 foot little, steel and wood wall thing like you put around construction areas, but there's just nothing there. Well, what's happening is obviously over this last year or whatever it is, they're going down before they're going up. So when it's all done, they'll be 125 stories in the tallest building in all of Asia, but they're going to have the deepest foundation. So the way you do that is you go and look at the brand new person, the newest members of your team. When someone just begins and just gets enrolled, what is the process you put them through that is a very structured process because they're new, they're inexperienced, and you want to put them in a path that creates the highest guarantee of result if they follow specific steps. And that's why what you said, we want to help other people. That's ultimately the mindset. It's about helping others. Now, remember, it's about helping others. It's not doing for others. We don't do for others. We don't give it to them. They earn it and they work for it. But the key is when someone has the least amount of experience, if you build things that work successfully for that person, then as a team, everybody can be successful. And so what you want to do is you want to build things that a brand new person with no previous experience can immediately engage in action, and that's what we call our hot market system. So that's what's critical. That's why you guys have adopted it as a team. We have other teams that have refined that process, made it very specific using the texting versions of that model very aggressively as well as the phone call versions. But you do that because the minute a new person gets into action, even if it's part-time, and almost all new people are going to be part-time, a majority of them will be part-time. You want it to be effective part-time. So it's full-time, part-time, meaning all of those hours need to be crammed full of effective action steps. And so that's why starting with Hot Market allows that to happen. When people take first steps that are very simple, and they're the types of steps that literally across companies in countries all over the world, we've installed that methodology. And as the leadership adopts it, and then adapts it. There will always be some nuances that will be unique to doTERRA that might be different than other teams with other companies who are deploying it, just slightly, but the principles are the same. And as you refine that, it really has been shown it works 100% of the time for 100% of the people who follow the process with 100% commitment to executing and following the process. You can't just take a swipe at it, kind of-ish, doing kind of-ish what we outline. You do exactly what's outlined, exactly the way it's outlined. You do it exactly as it's supposed to be done. It works 100% of the time for 100% of the people. When that happens, you create confidence. Now you can take that brand new person and start walking them through some other steps. And those are the simple processes of prospecting, which is actually fun if you have a servant heart, and it's not intimidating once you do. It's really interesting. It's sometimes hard to get new people to believe that this is true. And so they almost have this natural reticence and hesitation and almost resistance, which is funny because it's kind of like being the wise parent and seeing the young child, and they're heading down a path that overwhelms or intimidates them when you know it really isn't a bad thing. It's really not intimidating, and once you get there, you're actually going to find it was a lot of fun, and you're actually going to enjoy it. You just know that, but they don't. And so you watch them go through this process of angst and discomfort and dread and fear and hyperventilation. You almost want to chuckle, and you're not laughing at them. You're just kind of laughing because you remember I was there one time. That when they finally get over that hump and they go, oh, they have that big aha moment. They go, hang on a second, this really is fun. This isn't intimidating. Holy cow! And then they go at light speed. The challenge for many people is they'll never get over that hump. They'll just literally never make that breakthrough. But when you truly understand the mentality of servant, of being a servant to others, and having a total heart of I am not here for personal gain or accomplishment, I am not here for personal result, I'm merely here to serve and let others have the opportunity to make a choice. That's it. And I leave it open. I completely divorce the result. I don't care what they choose. I only care they choose what's best for them, and my servant heart is fulfilled, and I feel great, and I feel wonderful. And it's not a huffy, fluffy, it's a deadly serious perspective to have, because you will alter your life, and you will alter the way you interact with those that you love most in your life. It creates a total life shift across every aspect of your life, and the way that you interact with people, so that now you can take this story of success from Hot Market and you can go out into the world and you can conquer the world as a great prospector who then becomes a great sponsoring large numbers of people the right way, with a true servant heart, having a blast. Literally having a laugh out loud, bust a gut, belly laugh, almost lean over cramping. I'm having so much fun, enjoyment of the process versus this dread, fear, discomfort, etc. And in fact, I'll tell you about a conversation I had with a team a week ago, and an exercise she asked people to go through this week, and that the reports came back across the board, from the most experienced leaders on her team to the least experienced, newest members, about how extraordinary the difference was, how people were suddenly reaching back out to them. They were attracting, people were being drawn to them. There were results of people wanting to go further, get more information. Just was a 108 in literally instantaneously. We said, well, let's just throw out a thing, try this. So we'll talk about these things in this session, because it comes back to then the first step is you got to get people to premiere. In order to do that, you need to go from engaging in Hot Market to gaining confidence and creating some consumers in the marketplace and returning that initial expense, to turning that story into result of initial team building. The reason that's important is network marketing done properly is like natural human behavior. It's like how kids learn to be adults one day. We guide them until they have been able to do and accomplish something. Once something has been accomplished, three things happen. Number one, no one else can ever tell you it can't be done because you've just done it. Number two, though you may still be very new and kind of rough at it, because you've been able to do it once, you can do it again and again and again whenever you choose. Each time getting better and better and better. You get more fluid. You've got greater confidence in it. You've got a higher skill level, and in a subconscious skill. It's not a conscious skill. It's not something I have to think through the steps now. I just literally, I breathe and I walk, because I've done it for so long. I don't have to think about getting the first step and then the next step and then the third step. I just walk. And so it's the same thing here. Well, you can do it again and again and again. And the third thing is, if you choose, you can teach anybody how to do what you just did, because now it's not an experience. It's not an intellectually aware experience. I'm aware that that's possible. It's an experiential level of understanding. I've done it, so I know exactly how to do it, and let me show you how it's done. That's the process you want to get through, and it's a part of leadership development. And the way that you create diamonds, leaders are first of all, I think it's the most misused term in our profession. There are a lot of people who have achieved a rank and get a check, and people call them leaders, and I think they're the most horrific. They're a disgrace to the term leadership. It's embarrassing that word is used, because they've not been a servant. They've stomped on people. They've run over them. They've manipulated. Because again, it's all about the person and the choices we make. There are not good or bad religions. There are good or bad people who choose to do things. There are not good or bad companies. There are good or bad people operating companies. Enron was not a bad company. There were horrifically bad people who, in a position of power, made the types of decisions that destroyed a company and people's life savings and retirement and that kind of thing. So The same thing can happen in network marketing. Network marketing is neither a good nor a bad environment. It is the people and their choices and how they operate within that environment that makes that experience or that pocket of activity a really healthy, growing, thriving pocket or something that is not. And so I've seen people called leader who aren't. And I've seen people on their first day are some of the greatest examples of leadership I've ever seen, because you can see it in their mind, and you can see it in their presence. Leaders are leaders only if people are following, and people only have others following them if they're worthy of being followed. Therefore, it is a decision you make. And when you choose to be a servant to others, you are already instantly one of the greatest leaders. It may not be realized in tangible ways that we can see and touch, but you're already there. Now you'll simply become better at it as you then follow that path. And so here's what needs to happen. If you guys at the top in the Blue Diamond role want to build a team that is growing diamonds at Lightspeed, it comes back to taking brand new people to Premier at Lightspeed. And so it's developing that methodology, which you guys have. You guys have that in place, because it's always that first step, that hot market system, creating confidence. Now people go into action, giving them that path, being interested, not interesting, having conversations, not presentations, asking the right questions, being focused on others, truly wishing to serve them, and only wishing to ask them questions so that they can provide the answers that give you an insight into where they are, so that you can connect with them and allow them to connect with some other possibilities that may be available to them that they're simply not aware of. That's all it is. Having conversations about people's health and their state of being and where they are, letting their answers guide you to say, if I could show you solutions to those issues that you are personally facing, that you have just told me about, are applicable to you, let me share some products and let me let you look at some stuff and hear some stories of others and make a choice that you believe is right for you. Do you have everything in life you ever wanted? Are you where you need to be? Are you and your family where you want? Do you believe this is your destiny, or do you have greater things in mind? Do you have a plan, and would you like to see one, so that with that information you can make a choice? That's the process of driving. But then you break down what is Premier, what specifically is it going to take, so that with that servant heart, you're teaching that new person how to, with that serving heart, go out and go into action in whatever time frame they have, because it's about getting to Premier. The way that you go from Premier to Blue Diamond and beyond, the way you do that is a process of leadership development. It's a leadership understanding. It's an awareness that top leaders do have, that I've always believed if you could give people an awareness or a perspective, even though it's not a tangibly understood, an experiential perspective, if it's something that they intellectually understand on day one, and they realize that you can actually break all this, what seems complex and overwhelming and intimidating, you can turn it into something that is fun and rewarding and thrilling, and break it down into a pretty specific pattern. All of a sudden, wait, wow, the mystery is gone. Holy cow, I've looked behind the curtain. This is pretty cool. I don't need to be intimidated. Let's go rock the world. And so what it is there is a leadership perspective that I'm going to share with you guys. In fact, let me do this real quick. I'm going to come screen share something, and then we're going to rock through this really quick, and then I'll give you some other examples. So, first of all, can you guys see this? I know we tried it earlier. I want to make sure it's still working. You have to come off mute and just let me know. Can you guys see that?
Yep.
Okay, good. All right. Oops. That's me. Sorry. I didn't need that first slide. That's irrelevant. Everybody's got that one. Okay. Let's talk about the foundation of leadership. And I want to give you a perspective that leaders have. And it comes down to this word. Leaders understand that to create teams that go into massive momentum and really powerful growth and create tremendous synergy and have people moving from brand new enrollment, exploding into Premier, using that as a foundation, then all of a sudden the team is exploding new Premiers right in every single imaginable direction at this what seems like light speed, which now is just accelerating. It's creating massive acceleration of others into bronze, and then through silver, gold, or not bronze, but silver, gold, then platinum, and then on up into diamond. Here's the mindset. A state of duplication is where others wake up in the morning and they do what you do every morning without ever having you on the phone with them. In other words, you have embedded a culture and a process and a methodology, a mindset, a mental frame and perspective within the team, starting with the newest, brand new, least experienced, never done this before members on the team, that from day one, you're embedding these things that create truly the possibility. There's nothing perfect in the world, but the possibility of the most perfect duplication you can achieve. When your team achieves a state of true duplication, that's what I call the hit by the bus syndrome. Heaven forbid we don't want that to happen, but you can get hit by the bus and the team will not stop because it's gone beyond you. In order for that to happen, leaders understand that there is a certain thing that has to happen, and one is that leaders understand, top leadership understands they are in the business of leadership development because they are duplicating themselves. Your role right now is to, you and Mark, having become Blue Diamonds, is to duplicate Blue Diamonds. Now you do that because you set a target of wanting to drive diamonds throughout your group, which is a part of it. But you always step all the way down, and it's about creating premieres. And then there's a process that goes through. So let me show you what leaders understand. Okay, so you are the leader. You are the top tier leader. Here's what they understand is that there's a process to achieve the state of duplication. Step number one is you need to go out and you need to talk to somebody. At some point, let's do this. Here's a leader's understanding of here's the question, when does someone truly become a part of my team? When as a leader, I have that perspective of I'm trying to build and expand my team. So when is someone really a team member? Well, let's say that I speak to someone following the methods we've talked about, and I've gone out and connected and had conversation and shared, asked questions, gotten information from them, presented possibilities, given them opportunities to gather information should they choose, etc. And this person, number one, they go through that whole process, and when they're done, boy, they're so excited that they not only joined doTERRA, they picked the largest possible product package selection because they're going to go conquer the planet, and they're all in, and boom, off they go. So what I've just done is I've just enrolled them. So here's the question. They got online, they filled out the online enrollment form, they put in all their information and their ID numbers, and they got out their credit card, and they selected the largest possible starting methodology, and off they go. You look in your back office, there you are, there they are, they're enrolled, they're sitting right there in your back office staring at you as your new enrollee, and you're shown as their sponsor. Are they at this point a part of your team? Now, as I ask this question, here's what I want everybody to do. I want everybody to go through the exercise very rapidly without any hesitation, any thought, just real quick, think in your mind, flash it, yes, the answer. When I ask you yes, no question, just flash the answer, yes, no. So are they a part of your team, yes or no? Well, many people would say, well, of course, yes, I'm the sponsor. I see them right there. In terms of leadership, true leaders know that no, they are not really a part of the team. They've simply executed a transaction purchase task. They quickly fill out an electronic digital form. They selected a product package, whipped out a credit card. It could be a psychotic break in a moment of sheer enthusiasm without any logic or reason. They just, had a psychotic break, whipped out their credit card, boom, came in with a big package, and there you go. They're not really truly a part of the team. Just because a computer says, here's Fred, doesn't mean that here's really Fred. Because true leaders understand there is a second step. In the second step, you now have to help them. What is it that we're doing? Well, in the methodology here within Romy's Rockstars and the doTERRA team, when people enroll, you first run them through the hot market to take that initial expense and return it through hot market movement of product from your possession out in the hands of trial consumers, getting paid for that product because of the value that it has, and now you put in that person in a position of confidence. You then help them do that. They have to do the work, but you help them do that, and you also then help them go through the process and showing them how, with a servant mindset, how to go out and begin prospecting. And you want to help them go out and find people to talk to, where, again, they aren't doing the informing, they're bringing people through your methodology, and this has all been taught in previous stuff we've done, where you then teach them how to properly develop connection and relationship and conversation, and in conversation asking the right questions to see where people are, because you want to serve them and you want to serve them where they have the need, and then you point them at information. And so you help them go through the same process you went through with person number one. You help number one so that they can go out and find someone who, once that person's been brought into the environment of the team, they've listened to the information, they've gotten all their questions asked, they've gotten all the details they need. In this case, person number two, now there may be others along the way. This was not the right place for them. They did not say that doTERRA was the right timing for them. That's great. But in this case, you help number one until they finally found that person who saw the same thing they saw, and they said, I'm there with you. And so true leaders understand that for person number one to truly be a part of the team, I can't just enroll them. I have to engage with them and help. I need to help them go out and find and properly prospect and engage and then bring to the team and let them watch the team take this person through the right process of gathering the information until number two says, yes, I'm there with you. And number two, maybe in a moment of psychotic break or whatever, but they are in their enthusiasm, they go ahead and they fill out the online form. And let's say they get that gigantic, huge initial starting package or whatever the biggest all-in way is to start with doTERRA, because they're starting all in. You've helped number one now go out and enroll number two. So here's the question. Now that you, with number one, we're just looking at number one, now that you've enrolled them, you've taken them through those initial steps to create confidence, and you've helped them go through a process, and now they have started to create their team by enrolling number two. Now is number one, now are they finally truly a part of your team? Yes or no? For many people, they would say, well, okay, I got it. There has to be that second step. So yeah, now they are. And the real truth is that for true leadership who are looking at duplicating leadership, their answer is, well, no, not really. Because they know there's actually a third step. And the third step is that I have to teach. Number one, I've enrolled number one, gotten them through these initial hot market steps. They've got that confidence. I've helped them do that. I've helped them go out and figure out how, with a servant mindset, how to, at will, with great glee and joy and fun and no intimidation, go out and prospect and find all the people in the world to talk to, who then I help them find that prospect number two, take them through the process, that person enrolled. But now I have to go teach number one, because I have to go teach number one how to help number two do the same thing. Because by enrolling and helping, I can help number one get to Premier. The way you build to the top is you build premiers, but number one, their goal with person number one is I am taking them through a leadership development process, because you at the top, you wish to duplicate leadership. You have to become one and duplicate others to becoming that. And so I am focused on the duplication of the growth of number one. So I help them find number two, but I taught them how to help number two go through the same process, how to go out and taught them how to help number two go through that hot market system, gain confidence, go out with a glee and a servant heart to be able to prospect at will with enthusiasm and excitement, not fear and intimidation. Number two found number three, brought them properly into the environment. Number three evaluated everything. Others said, no, it's not right for me. But number three said, yes, this is. I see it. I got it. I'm here too. And they hop in full force, flat out. Now, let's go back to number one. You've enrolled them. You've taken them through the first steps. You've helped them so that they could find number two. You've taught them how to help number two now do the same thing. And number two is on that path to getting Premier. So the number one's actually on that path to getting to Silver. So here's the question. Now that you've completed these three steps, all three steps, the enroll and the help and the teach how to help, now is number one finally truly a part of the team? Yes or no? And the reality is usually everybody at this point would say, yes, it makes sense. I've gone through all these three steps. Enroll, help, and teach to help. That makes sense. But true leaders know there's actually one more step. And the answer would still be no. Not quite. Getting close. But number one is still not truly a part of my team, because the team I'm talking about is a team of true, pure, fully capable leadership. And there is a fourth step. And the fourth step is I must teach again. And what do I teach them in the fourth step? I have to teach them how to teach. I have to coach them through the process of how do they effectively coach and mentor others. Because I have to not just enroll number one, I then have to help them. I have to teach them how to help number two, enroll number three, and I have to teach them how to teach number two to help number three go out and find in the right, proper way number four. When this has happened, I finally have one person in this group who is truly a part of the team. And the reason is because they have now reached a level. Maybe they're like that newborn deer that's all in his long, spindly legs, stumbly, wobbly, falling, flopping, but they're able to finally stand on their own a little because I've duplicated myself. Because I, as a leader, am capable of enrolling, I'm capable of helping, I'm capable of teaching others how to help, and I'm capable of teaching. I'm a teacher of teachers, I'm a trainer of trainers, I'm a leader of leaders. Now, if you look at this, look at what's happening in your group, and you have one person, one, who is truly a part of your team because you approached it from a position of leadership mindset. When you do this, here's what happens. This is how you build diamonds. This is how you become a diamond. It's developing a mindset that says, I'm not here to do it for them. I can't. I'm looking for those who are choosing to want it for themselves, and I am leading them. In other words, leading is not dragging them, grabbing them by the hand and dragging them. Leading them is taking them by the hand because they are choosing to run with you. They're choosing to walk and to run and to sprint with you. But you understand that truly to duplicate leadership, you don't even have anybody who's really a part of your true leadership team and leadership development team until they've gone through that fourth step. That's why building in depth is so critically important, and teaching people how to teach others, how to teach others, how to teach others, how to teach others, how to do that. And when that happens, your path to diamond is very simple. If you look at this, if you enroll someone, helping them in the right way is what takes them to premier. Them getting to premier and helping all of your people get to premier is what takes you to silver. It's not a complicated process to become silver. You focus on building premiers. Help teaching them how to help their new people go to premier so that they, teaching them how to get to premier by helping their new people so that when they get to premier, teaching them how to help their new people get to premier, which takes them to silver, is what takes you to gold. Then going ahead and teaching them how to teach others, how to help others go through that process of not just enrolling, but getting to then premier, taking those the folks into silver, taking your people to gold is what drives you to platinum. Once you do that, diamond is a very simple step. Why? Once you achieve something, three things happen. No one can tell you it can't be done. You can do it anytime you choose to do it again and again, getting better each time you do it, and you can teach others how to do what you've done. It's all about premieres, but it's also sequential. You get one person to reach this level, and if you did this with if every one of your number ones, those people you've personally enrolled, if you are driving them through this process, those who choose, many will choose to not do what you say or not do what you show them to do. That's okay. That's their choice. It's not their time. But as you work with more and more and more, you'll find those who, by their choice, are choosing to go to the top because their actions speak louder than words, and they're doing everything as fast as possible because you've shown them how to have a great heart doing it and how to truly be a servant leader. This is what leaders understand. It's not about enrolling people. It's about enrolling and developing. And there's a simple four-stage process of development. Enroll, help, teach to teach. When you've done that, let me get back to real quick. I'll pop it off screen here. That's when things happen. That's your methodology. So you have to, for everyone listening, understand that for Mark and Romy, what they've done is they've gone to that ultimate end. They're blue diamonds. They want to drive diamonds because that's how they'll create. Blue diamonds is not just driving diamonds, and they've already got people who are getting there. It's about driving it in depth. But it's that mentality. At any level, I can look at that. At any level, I can say, I need to get someone there. I need to help them get someone else there. I need to teach them how to help that person get someone else there, wherever there is. And I need to teach them how to teach that person how to help other people get to wherever that is. And when that happens, I've duplicated myself. I'm no longer needed. I'm wanted, but I'm not needed. And there's a big difference. They don't need me to be able to stand on their own. And I want to help them even expand, and they want me. So it's great because it's an incredibly, emotionally uplifting environment to see that person. It's like all parents. Again, it's all about human behavior. It's a natural process. It's watching that child who couldn't even barely sit up, who one day could sit up, then they could crawl, then they could stand wobbly, then they could start to stumble and walk, but now seeing them become an Olympic sprinter one day. That's all it is, that four-step process. So don't look and say, oh, wow, I'm doing great. I sponsored all these people I got to premier. No. No, you haven't even warmed up yet. You're just getting going. You've just sponsored people. You've just enrolled them. You need to help them. You need to teach them how to help. You need to teach them how to teach. You got a long way to go. I sponsored 5 people. You don't have 5 people on your team. You have 5 people who executed a financial transaction. You now have to dig in. Now they have to do the work. They have to want to do the work. They have to choose to do the work. I'm not here to get anybody to do anything. I'm here to give everybody a chance to make a choice to do things that I know, having already been on the path, where that path leads. And I know the tremendous, you know, just glorious results that can await them should they choose to put in that work and effort. But if they choose, I already know there's a long road we are going through before they truly have reached that place where they're truly a part of the team, because now they're self-sustaining. That's what, as you guys get on this drive, because you want to create diamonds, but you've always known, we talked about it, it's always about the foundational building blocks. It's always about building premieres. It's always about that leading edge, brand new set of folks, and giving them confidence, getting them into action. That's the hot market. Then giving them a path to run on, and letting them know as fast as possible, if you will divorce the result and marry the process, and you are here to serve others. Period. That's it. You're not here to get them to do what you want them to do. That is not serving them. That's manipulating them or pressuring them, or that's not it. You are looking for those who are looking. You can only find out if people are looking through the questions you ask, not the information. Now, speaking will not allow you to know if someone is looking. Inquiring will allow you to find out if they're looking. They'll tell you. Okay? So develop that with a leadership mindset, that those who then engage, it doesn't mean they'll engage all the way. That's their choice. Your choice is whether or not you will continue to look and seek and find those who say they're looking, and then by their actions they really are looking, and they'll go through that process. And that's the process. If you see that simple process repeated and duplicated to great enough through great enough numbers of people, that's exactly the process of going to platinum. I mean, that 4-step process, you will be platinum. You know, because if you enroll people, you'll get to premier. You help them enroll others, and you'll get to silver. You help them help others, and you teach them how to help others get there, and you'll be gold. And you teach them how to teach others, and one day you'll wake up and be a platinum. How do you get to diamond? Keep going. You just make sure that along the way you've taught other people that they're just one step from platinum, many of them, because they're teaching people that those people are just one step from gold, because they're teaching people they're just one step from silver, because they're teaching people they're just one step from premier, because they're teaching brand new people what to do to engage and become premier. That's it. And when you break it down, then what you guys have said, we have a number. Well, when you decide, okay, I want to break 6 silvers. Why? Because I'm gold, and that's what I'm going to do, or whatever it is. When you break that number, then you can schematically draw it out. You can say, well, then here's what it takes. And no schematic ever fills perfectly, because people are just randomly bizarre. But you at least understand the premise. You understand the principle. And what happens is you now can take this mysterious, intimidating kind of a thing, and suddenly it becomes unintimidating and unmysterious. It becomes very crystal clear. I get it. I enroll, I help, I teach to help, I teach to teach. I do this because I am committed to going all the way, and I want to bring people with me. In fact, the only way I get all the way is I bring them along the way. So that's it. That's the leadership path. And when you understand that perspective, it becomes less mysterious, because it's just not that big a deal. It's not complicated. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. You don't need to feel embarrassed, uncomfortable, or awkward, because I am serving. Let me give you an example of what I mean by being a true servant. I was speaking with a group yesterday, and the person who leads them has got this personality the size of Texas. She just, boom, she just explodes out there. But she is the epitome of a servant leader. And she told a couple of stories, and one was that she says she prospects everywhere on the planet. She prospects the checkout people at the counters at Walmart. And she never talks about a product, and she never talks about her company. Now, this is the other lesson, and we'll talk about the exercise that we ran through. She said, I never talk about the product, and I never talk about my company. I look at someone, and I try and see who they are and where they are, either by watching physically what's going on in the environment, or I have conversations with them. And I see people who are standing there on their feet all day, and I know that I know their feet probably hurt, their knees are probably achy, I know they're not making a great deal of money, but I know it's what they believe is their only choice. And the question is, if I just ask them, listen, if there was a way that maybe you could find something you could easily fit in your schedule that could allow you the freedom to do something else and not have to stand on your feet all day, but replace your income very quickly, would that be of interest to you? Those are the types of things she asks because she looks at someone and saying, she looks at somebody who's standing on their feet and saying, would you like to not have to stand on your feet? I'd like to serve you. Or I'd like to serve you by giving you information and letting you make a choice. She said, I don't consider whether or not they're ever going to, I'm here to serve someone. She said, I'm in a restaurant and I'm eating dinner and it's 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening. I'm always looking at my server's hand to see if they have a wedding ring. Because my question is, if at 8 or 9 in the evening you're here obviously making a living, if the ring indicates you might be married, then I'll engage them in conversation. So listen, Bill or Mary, you've done such a great job. We really appreciate it. So how long have you worked here? Do you really like it? Well, I noticed you got a wedding ring on. Are you married? Oh, okay. Because then I'll open the conversation, create a connection because I want to serve them because I want to ask a simple question. Listen, let me ask you a question. If your schedule was such that it allowed you the flexibility, if there was something that I could show you in addition to what you're doing as a server that could replace your income possibly very quickly, that would allow you to be home with your spouse at 8 and 9 in the evening instead of sitting here serving me dinner, would that be of interest to you? I'm not going to talk about my company. I'm not going to talk about my product. I'm going to say, if you married and you're here at 9 o'clock in the evening serving me dinner, but if you had the ability to be at home with your spouse, your significant other, or your child, would that be something you would prefer? Would that be a way that I could serve you? If I could show you something that might let you do that. In other words, she said, I never don't have people, whether it's on an elevator or whether it's in somebody sitting next to me in a restaurant. She said, once you develop that servant heart, I am looking at every human interaction I have on the planet, including walking by people down the street. I'm looking for opportunities to serve by looking at others without an expectation for myself. I'm not looking as to what can I gain, who can I get, what can I, how many, fast start bonuses can I rack up this month? It's no, who can I serve? So she said, all of a sudden I suddenly see things. She said there was an interesting thing. She said, I was noticing on Facebook all these people on Mondays who were complaining that it was Monday. They were making a post before, oh crap, it's Monday again. Golly, headed back to the office, headed back to hell for 5 days. Can't wait for Friday. He said, if you actually look, you'd be surprised how many people are out there making comments like that. She made note of all of them. And this last Monday, because she has a home overlooking the lake out on the water, and that's where she works, she said, I just literally went out, sat on my, dock chair lounge with my notebook computer sitting there, took a picture of my, sitting there in my bathing suit, out on the dock, beautiful morning, notebook on my lap, took a picture shooting across my, my feet, looking out at the thing, saying, I'm so glad I got to the office today. I can't wait. I'm so excited for my next week of work. It's such a wonder being able to do what you love and not have to suffer through the drudgery of the Monday morning blues. I've got the Monday morning excitement. Can't wait. Hope you have a great week. And she intentionally made sure she shared it with all those people who had mentioned how much they hated going to work on Monday the week before. In other words, all she did was in her environment. She didn't go pitch. She wasn't spamming. She wasn't Facebook marketing. She wasn't doing that stuff that makes me want to puke because it's just ridiculous. It's just garbage and crap and crud. It's let me just oh yeah, want to get rich? Oh God, I hate that stuff on Facebook. People ought to be kicked off and banned for life. Anyway, she looks at the world, and her instinct as a servant is saying in every moment. She just literally, she has a fine-tuned servant antenna. And she is a monster leader exploding through ranks and has a team of people exploding through ranks because she puts into their head from that first moment of leadership, once they're enrolled, she immediately embeds in them, here is the path we are following, and we are not manipulating, we are not getting people, we are giving of ourselves. We are serving and we are sharing with people information and letting them choose a better life for those who wish to choose. And that's what happened. So here's what she did. She gave an example. She had some people throw out a dare to her, and she said, that's why I just look around, and you can put me in any situation, anywhere on the planet, put me anywhere, and I can find somebody to serve. And she tells the story that they were at an event when she had this conversation with people. She was at an event in Vegas, and they said, okay, let's see if you can sponsor no matter where it is. She said, okay, pick it. They said, great, let's go to a strip club. And she kind of like stopped for a second and said, uh, and then she said, I'd thrown it out there. She looked him dead in the eye and said, great, let's go. Now you'd have to understand her. She's a good Southern girl, and she says, something, people are people, and I just love people, so whatever. So they literally go to a Vegas strip club, and they walk in, and she said, there's all these girls. She said, I understand, it's the human body. I'm just not, I'm old enough in my life, but I just don't get caught up in little stuff. And she sat there and said, there were these two girls who came over to the table, and they were sitting there, and whatever. And one of them said, well, here, would you like a lap? She goes, no, I don't want a lap dance. Let's talk for a second. And she's got a personality. She said, let's just talk. And anybody who meets her, in 0.2 of a second, you just feel this giving spirit. You just feel it. And she starts talking to this one girl and says, so, you live in Vegas? She says, no. I said, well, where do you live? So I live in New York. Said, what are you doing here? She said, oh, there's a circuit because I travel around and I'm gone a lot. And she goes, oh, really? Well, are you married? She says, no, but I've got a 4-year-old son and I'm trying to help provide, and I didn't finish high school and that kind of stuff. So I'm just doing what I got to do. And she said, because she had a conversation with a human being, regardless of what anybody's state of dress was, she looked at a person and said, can I serve you? Is this truly where you want to be? Let's find out. And she had a conversation. She said, she talked to her and said, if I could show you a way where you could stay at home with your 4-year-old all the time, not just a couple of days a week, be back there all the time, and have a better income and have complete control of your life, would that be of interest? She said, absolutely. Said, great. When can we talk? She said, I'm done at 2 a.m. She talked to her. She said, that person today not only doesn't do that anymore, joined her in the business and is one of her top leaders, exploding through ranks because her passion for telling people that you can change your life is amazing. And the story was breathtaking as she shared it, because you just began to realize, how much of a servant are you? So she laid it out, and they said, you probably can't. She said, I can sponsor anywhere because it's not about me. It's about them. And all I do is I don't judge. I just look at a circumstance and say, can I serve this person? Or can I serve them by giving them a chance to make a choice? Now, how many people would have taken that dare and said, oh, no, I'm not doing that? Instead, she said, I don't care. Take me anywhere. Take me to the soup kitchen, take me to Skid Row, take me to the, take me anywhere. What do you want? What do you want to do? Because they're human beings, and I'm just going to give them a chance to make a choice. It's their choice to make. No big deal. But she said, I have someone now who shares her story of the past, where she was, why she felt it was the only place in the world, until somebody walked in, cared more about her than anything else, and connected with her and said, if you could think a different way and know that there is another option, would you be interested? She said, sure. And now she is one of the fastest growing leaders, has a huge team, is just cranking it out, changing people's lives right and left. So there you go. That's the process. So as you guys have this big, gigantic goal of wanting hundreds of diamonds by this December, as a team, ask yourself, now here's the exercise, by the way, and this is the same person who had her team do this exercise after our conversation a week ago about servant leadership on that hangout. What she did is she said, here's what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to go out, and I want you to have as many conversations as you can, not talking about your product and not talking about your company. You can't mention the company, you can't mention the product. And have conversations just finding out where people are and asking if they might be interested in anything that might be of value to them, but that decision is one that only they could understand. And people went out totally without an objective to ever talk about the product or talk about the business. An objective to the idea was see how many people you can connect with to see if they would have an interest. Just see if they would have, how many people can you get this week who will say, sure, I'd take a look at something. That's it. That's your whole objective. Your whole objective is to see how many people you can get to say, okay, I'd take a look at something. If there might be something, would you want to take a look? You just want to see if there's even anything like that out there. And whatever it is, that was it. But you can't talk about the product, can't talk about the company. And you can do that on Facebook. You can do that anywhere. You can do that everywhere. You can pick up the phone. You can do it. Talk to people and say, just literally be there. Look at people and ask yourself, and adopt it to them. If you're out in the world, ask the waiter if you could be home with your spouse, because I noticed the ring and you said you're married. Boom. Do you have any children? If you could be home with your children instead of serving me. If you could be, whatever, instead of standing on your feet. If you could be in your entire, as you go through the grocery stores, as you go, whatever you do, as you live your life, at every single minute, see if there's a way. If you say, listen, I don't mean to interrupt, but I wanted to ask you just a simple question real quick. I saw you standing here and I saw your circumstance. I saw you. I have seen you. I have actually seen there is a human being here. I'm not looking past you. I'm not ignoring you. I see you, where you are and who you are. I want you to know that. And I have a simple question. Boom. And then see what happens. And the response she got back was, my gosh, it's been unbelievable. I've had so much fun this week. I wanted to see if I could write, because they start sending in and we'll start posting a little board. How many people have you got? And say, yeah, they'll take a look. I don't care if they look. How many people did you, and so be honest, have some ethics. Don't try and win the contest. There's no prize here. We're just going to list how many people got what. It's a personal thing. So there's no bad number. If you got one, congratulations. You got none, at least you tried. You'll get more next week. And there was no prize anybody won. It was just to see what you, and she started getting people comments. It's amazing. I've got people reaching out to me and they're following up with me. And I say, well, great, here's my card. Let's, where's a number, or call me or something. It's amazing how many people, they're now coming at me. They're coming at me instead of me having to chase them. Yes, isn't it amazing what happens when you really see people, you really connect with them, and you serve them? Fascinating what happens. And that's when people have those, I said, all those people, that was their aha breakthrough moment. They will now become massive recruiting and sponsoring monsters, because they'll sponsor the right people for the right reasons, and they'll do it in massive numbers because they're now having fun. Because it is tremendously rewarding. It is emotionally uplifting to serve others with a pure servant heart, with no manipulation or expectation of gain. Period. I see you. You're a human being. I see you in your humanity. I see where you are. I care about you. I just want to ask you a question. Would you like a chance to make a choice? That's it. There you go. And that perspective of leadership, a specific plan that says, here's the doTERRA plan, here's what it takes in terms of people and ranks and volume and legs, etc. Here's what it is. You can map out a path to getting to every rank, your next rank, all ranks, to diamond and beyond. Just do it with that servant heart, and there you go. So there's kind of a thought for today.
Oh my gosh, that was fantastic. I loved that. I love the I see you, I saw you. We Mark and I have, when we did the homeless ministry, we used to talk about it as far as meeting people. When you meet people on the sidewalk, how many people will avert their eyes when they meet people? And especially, sometimes all it takes is just looking them in the eye and acknowledging them and giving them a smile, or a touch, or something like that. That is so powerful.
They are used to an entire life, every hour of every day, that everybody's path they cross looks at them, and then they see them glance away, which gives them a sense of such unworthiness that they no longer have the strength of nature to look people in the eye. And if you do, if you just stop them and say, hey, I see you. And it's not, by the way, it's not, as she said, it's not something I say out loud to people. It's just they know. So I just saw you here, standing here in the circumstance. It's not that I see that you're the wounded animal, but we all are. Everybody is. If they're not where they want to be, everybody's wounded. Everybody's where they are sometimes. If they're not truly living the life that brings them that exhilaration, that thrill, they're not where they want to be. But they've relented. They just said, okay, this is just the way life is. And it's not necessarily that they just didn't have anybody to show them that there is another path. There is, as Eric says, that we have a better way. Let's go out and tell the world.
Yeah.
See, that's why you and Mark are so good at this. It's not good. Salespeople actually aren't very good at this business. But people who come from a giving past, teachers, farmers, coaches, spiritual advisors, people who are used to having to plant a seed, water it and nurture it, and grow it with a lot of time and effort and care and concern and truly serving that seed so that it can grow, they're naturals at this. So
yeah.
Well, there you go, gang.
Well, thank you very much. That story that really touched my heart. That touched my heart. I can see me doing something like that.
I'm glad she was talking away, because I wasn't going to be able to hop in on that one. It was like, okay, got a big lump there. as she told us, she said, human body, naked body, it's a beautiful thing, doesn't bother me at all. Come on, let's just sit down and chat with this girl. And wow, like, well, she not only took them up on their dare. Obviously, they saw that it actually goes a lot further because they now see the results. So yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah. Can you imagine the satisfaction of being able to help somebody in all situations like that? Just that self-satisfaction is
No, no,
amazing.
no. But here's the perspective. Remember, you don't help them; they help themselves. Where you did, so know that the satisfaction you should have is in knowing that you gave them the choice. Disappointment is when you impose yourself upon them because you wanted them to make this choice. It's not their time, or it is their time. Fortunately for her, that girl, it just happened to be that girl was at a point in time where it was her time. She could have asked 10 other girls in that who would have said, no, 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 I love doing this. This is what I'm doing. Okay. It wasn't their time. But she didn't care. She didn't go in with an expectation. Because here's what it is. You know, we actually didn't talk about it, but I guarantee you if I went back and had the conversation, she would have been in that strip club till she talked to them all. Because she was there to serve them all. It just so happened that she was there also to show people that, look, you can find the opportunity to serve in any circumstance. So you thought this would be kind of cute. You thought you'd shock me. You aren't shocking me. Take me anywhere. There is nothing that will shock me because I'm here to serve. If I'm shocked, then it's about me. I don't feel comfortable. So what? Who cares? Tough. Get up and get over it. She said, take me anywhere and I will serve. So they decided they'd be shocking. Turns out, she shocked them. Because if it hadn't been that girl, she wasn't ready, she'd have talked to the other one. If it hadn't them, she'd have waited until others came by. She'd have sat there until the place closed down, and if she'd have talked to everybody and hadn't been any time, she'd have said that that's how you do it. See, if you're in a situation, if you're in a place, if there are other human beings present, you have an opportunity to serve. Now you have to decide whether or not you're going to choose to do so. But understand, it's not about getting them to do something, it's giving them a chance, saying, would you like to take a look at something? That's it. I'll leave the rest to you. Who can't do that? And when you really get good at it, this particular person to share a story in a weekend because she was already at a very high rank, but there needed to be an amount of activity, and she decided she would lead from the front. In a weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, she personally enrolled 39 people because she geared up on Friday and she said, I've got till Sunday, and she said, I'm going to make it happen because my team will get me there. But you know something? I talked to people about setting there. I need to show them. So I'm going to pretend it's my first day. And she went out and she engaged in her community, which was not a big town, but in a moderate but a mid-sized town in Louisiana. She walked out the door and she engaged so many people that she literally, and then ran them through, let them see videos and list recordings, and then followed up. And she was doing it 18, 20 hours a day, and she personally enrolled 39 people in 3 days. Because she said, I'm going to see how many people I can serve. It wasn't she went out to get 39 people. She just said, I set no limit. I will be relentless. I will serve from the minute I wake up till the minute I pass out, and then I'll wake up again. And she was a top rank person, and she went out and brought in 39 new people. Now, she strategically, had to team up some of these people but she said, I'm gonna go make it happen. So then she started, in that case, because she had such a large team already, she said 39 brand new people. So then she went out and she got 39 people to say yes. So as she looks around, she just looks at people and says, what's your excuse? Want to help people bad enough, you'd be surprised how many you're going to be able to enroll. It's just a mental shift. So there you go. Well, listen, why don't you guys go have a great evening. I'm going to go crank out. It looks like the rain is relenting a little bit. Thank goodness. It's given up. The rest of you don't relent and go out and let's go change the world and let the Terra change our lives.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you a lot.
I appreciate it. It's fun.
Have a great day.
All right. In fact, we'll keep track and we'll see how you guys are doing.
All righty.
Most all of those are going to happen in the last 2 weeks. They're in December, just before it pops. That's when it's all going to happen. But you'll have them close. So we'll keep watching it over the next 8 months, 9 months. See how you guys are doing.
All righty. It's going to
All right,
happen
guys.
for sure. Okay.
Bye from Thailand. Talk to you guys next week.
See you,
Bye.
Curtis.
All righty.